takes 21 days to form a habit, says literally almost everyone. But what if I told you this is actually a myth, and it was created on the basis of an observation from a plastic surgeon named Maxwell Maltz, who noticed it took his patients an average of 21 days to get used to seeing their new faces in a mirror. So then how long does it really take to form a habit? Well, University of College London did a 12-week study that was published in the European Journal of Social Psychology that gave quite a different answer. Welcome back to Motherhood Uncorked. If you're new here, welcome. I'm your host, Courtney, and each week I put out a new video giving you the best tips and strategies to help you thrive in motherhood and build a life that you want to celebrate. So make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you'll get notified of all my new videos. So this week we are taking a deep dive into one of the most fundamental aspects of the quality of life you are living, and that is our habits. How many times do you tell yourself after the new year or a birthday or even just on a Monday that this is the day that you are going to officially start getting in shape, waking up earlier, reading more books, whatever change it is that you've been craving in your life, you are going to start doing it and you are going to do it for real this time. And you start and everything goes great for the first week or two, and then you slowly start going back into your old habits. I get it. I've been there. I think we've all been there. Change is hard, and it's because we literally have to rewire our brains. But in this week's episode, I'm going to break down exactly how long it takes to adopt a new behavior and the 3 phases that we go through in order to get there. So what's really happening when we're trying to improve upon our habits? What kind of changes are really happening in our bodies? Well, your cells are constantly receiving information and then replicating themselves based on this information. So when you're making a positive change, you're then sending positive information throughout your body in the form of the hormones serotonin and dopamine. But if our cells are used to receiving information based off of the fear hormone and stress hormone, which is cortisol, then that is what they want and that is what they crave. Which is why for the first little while, you're going to feel really good about your change because your cells are receiving all this new positive information and replicating themselves based on that. But after a little while, your cells are going to be like, hey, what happened to all that cortisol we used to be getting? We want some more of that. And that is when you're going to start to feel some discomfort in the process of change. And that's when you're going to start to make excuses and start to self-sabotage. So how long does it take before our cells break their addiction to the cortisol from our bad habits and evolve to have receptor sites that crave the dopamine and serotonin from our good habits? How long does it take for us to create a lasting habit that becomes harder not to do than to do? The answer, according to University College London, it takes an average of 66 days. Now those 66 days are broken down into 3 different phases of approximately 22 days each. So phase number 1 is the demolition phase. You cannot do a full kitchen renovation without first destroying the kitchen that's currently there. You cannot create a new habit without first destroying the habit that's already there. You can't do both at the same time, and that's what this phase is all about. Breaking down an old habit and getting rid of it so then you can go on to replace it with something new and improved. But just like demolishing a kitchen is hard physical work, demolishing a habit is hard mental work. Flat out, this stage sucks. You will have high highs when you're riding on that dopamine rush, and then you will have days of pure torture when your body is craving that cortisol and you just want to quit. You will want to quit. This is actually when most people do quit. But remember one thing, your willpower is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it's going to get. Remember the commitment that you made to yourself and remember why you started. Once you get to stage 2, things will be different. Not easier, but different. So stage number 2 is installment. So once you demolish your old kitchen, it's then time to go in and install your new one. So once you've broken down your old habit, it's time to go in and install a new habit in that new empty space. This is when things get a little confusing for your brain. You've removed the old habit, but now you need to teach it what it needs to do instead. You know what you want to do, whether it be go to bed early, eat a salad for lunch every day, wake up and exercise every morning, but your brain neural pathways do not know that, and it's up to you to show them. And because our cells replicate on the last information that they received, the only way to do this is to replicate this behavior over and over and over and over again for the next 22 days until those neural pathways form. Sounds like it should be pretty easy, right? Just keep doing the same thing every day. But after you've demolished your kitchen and your kitchen renovation, it's not just smooth sailing. Issues are bound to come up. Parts not arriving on time, finding out the wiring is an issue where you wanted to put your new fridge, or whatever. At some point, you will probably start to question if renovating your kitchen was really such a good idea. The same thing is going to happen when you try to install your new habit. You'll wonder if it's really for you. You'll start thinking about how comfortable and easy your old habit was. You may feel stressed out and overwhelmed by the changes happening. But the difference here is that once you've demoed your kitchen, there's no going back. You have no choice but to move forward with the renovation that you originally planned on, or you'll have no kitchen. Habits are very different though. You can very easily go back, and you will want to go back, but remember this: if you give up now, nothing will ever change. But the good news is, once you get to stage 3, things do get easier. Stage 3 is when things become automatic. This is when everything comes together. You demolished your kitchen, you made it through the insanity of the installation. It's done, and you're so excited about your new kitchen, and you realize how worth it all really was. It feels the same when it comes to your habits. You conquered disrupting your old habit, you made it through the chaos of teaching your brain a new behavior pattern. You're on a high, you feel so excited to keep going with this new way of life. You leveled up yourself emotionally, psychologically, and physically. But eventually the novelty of your new kitchen wears off. You still love it, obviously, but it stops being your new kitchen and it just becomes your kitchen. Same with your new behavior. After about 22 days, you stop riding the high of this new behavior. It stops being this new, exciting thing that you do, and it just becomes this thing that you do. It's your new normal. Something that you programmed your brain to do automatically without much thought or effort whatsoever. It is now a habit, a lasting habit. Now your willpower and mental energy are freed up to focus on your next behavioral improvement. So with that being said, yes, you really only have the mental capacity to focus on one major change at a time. But remember that when you raise the water in the harbor, all of the boats raise along with it. So my question for you now is, what habit do you want to improve upon first? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure that you share this video with your fellow moms who you know are struggling to make lasting change. Make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, and I will see you back here next Thursday.